Creating custom Pokemon for you! Welcome back, everyone, to the show where we select lucky commenters to spin a series of random wheels that give us factors for a Pokemon that we then create just for you. It's gonna be an awesome episode today, y'all. We're gonna make 3 amazing custom Pokemon. That's right, 3, not 4. I decided to bring it down 1 per episode. And that's just because it's gonna help me come out with episodes quicker, so you're actually gonna get more custom Pokemon, just less per episode. So I hope you like that change. Let me know in the comments if you do. And before we get started today, I do have some quick reminders. First off, if you end up liking today's video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And of course, if you want a custom Pokemon, all you have to do is leave a comment under this video because I'll be randomly selecting people from this video's comments for the next episode. That's right, everyone who gets a custom Pokemon is just randomly selected from the comments. It's just most fair that way, but it also makes it way more important to subscribe with the notification bell turned on. Because if you got a custom Pokemon but never saw the episode, that would absolutely suck. Don't let it happen to you. Subscribe now. And without further ado, let's get into the first Pokemon. And this one will be for Chelsea May. I'm glad you liked Snaremid in the last episode, but hopefully you like your own Pokemon even more. So alright, Chelsea, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are going to be regular. Nothing wrong with that. Now let's see how many times your Pokemon can evolve, and you are going to get 1, which makes you a 2-stage evolution line. Now let's see what typing your Pokemon's going to be. Your first type is going to be the Fairy type. That's good. I feel like we don't get that type very much. And Fairy Poison. That is sick. And the last step before we see which Pokemon looks like, let's see if it has an X Factor, and you do! A Mega Evolution. That is awesome. I feel like we've been getting a lot of those lately, and I'm not complaining. Mega Evolutions are my favorite. Get ready to meet a friendly Pokemon with a dark past. Your Pokemon is Spiritual, the Potion Pot Pokemon. These Pokemon are the preferred partners of those who practice experimental medicine, which in the Pokemon world is the process of combining different types of berries to create items whose abilities rival even the strongest potion. And they help this process by using their incredibly unique elemental properties that increase the healing abilities of all items that it touches. At level 29, it would evolve into Haggard. These Pokemon are fully capable of making their own potions from scratch, which they can use in combat to both heal themselves and damage foes. And this is reflected in its signature move called Potion Prowess, a move that when used normally would deal a measly 50 Fairy type damage. However, if Haggard is holding a berry when Potion Prowess is used, it will deal double damage as well as healing Haggard for half of the damage dealt, which makes it one of the strongest moves in Pokemon history. But this move does have a downside because it also consumes the berry upon use, so you can really only use it 1 time. When exposed to Hagite, it would evolve into Mega Haggard. In medieval times, these Pokemon were used by powerful witches due to their ability to create the most deadly potions using the natural material produced by its body, with it even being said that 1 drop of this material is enough to faint 50 Copperajah. In terms of stats, Haggard is a mostly defensive Pokemon, but it also has pretty decent special attack, and its Mega Evolution keeps those solid defenses while also gaining a large boost to its attack and speed. Now, the inspiration behind these Pokemon is actually pretty interesting. First off, they're obviously just based off potions and general alchemy stuff, which I thought was perfect for a Fairy Poison type. That's just like magic and poison in my head makes potions. That just makes sense. But specifically, the Mega Evolution is also based off Baba Yaga, which in Slavic folklore is a witch that has a very unique house because it's like this wooden cabin that runs on chicken legs, which is why the Mega Evolution has these really creepy looking legs that I think are a very cool design element. It makes the whole Pokemon look very villainous and scary. But yeah, I was really happy with the way this one turned out, especially with the unique typing. I think it just fits perfectly. But now let's get into the second Pokemon. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick second to tell you all about today's video sponsor, Marvel Strike Force. Marvel Strike Force is a free squad-based RPG where you create a team full of your favorite Marvel superheroes and villains as you battle through hundreds of playable missions, engage in PvP, and even participate in ginormous weekly faction wars. And you can try the game out right now by hitting the link in my description or by scanning this ultra convenient QR code. I've actually been playing Strike Force for quite a bit now, and I gotta say it's the absolute perfect game to fit into any little mundane task you might be doing. I personally like to play it when I'm in the gym because it has this auto battle feature where you just tap it and then your characters will fight on their own, which lets me beat entire missions while I'm in the middle of my set, which is super nice. Plus, there's something about watching Spider-Man drop kick the red skull across the room that just really fires me up. And right now is the absolute perfect time to get into the game because in the month of February, they're releasing a ton of awesome heroes. They're even releasing a brand new Liberty team, which consists of Peggy Carter, Falcon, Patriot, and of course, Captain America. You can even get Captain America for free by using the promo code SAM, spelled S-A-M, but you can literally get Captain America for free. They're just giving them away. How crazy is that? So suit up today by using the link in my description or again by scanning this QR code. Big thank you to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring today's video, but now let's get right back into it. And this one will be for Toxic Poison PvP, who commented 11 seconds after my last video was posted. That is super impressive. So alright Toxic, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are going to be regular. Now let's see how many times your Pokemon can evolve, and you are going to get 1, which makes you a 2-stage evolution line. Now let's see what typing your Pokemon's going to be. Your first type is going to be the Grass type. That is a good classic Pokemon type, and Grass Dragon, that's actually really cool. And the last step before I see what your Pokemon looks like, let's see if it has an X Factor, and you do a signature move. Catching this early route grass type will give you a great reward later in the game. The first stage of your Pokemon is Tartort, the strawberry Pokemon. These small grass type Pokemon can be found all over the custom Pokemon region. And they're also a very popular Pokemon because of the sweet tasting juice that they naturally produce from the vines on their body. However, it's also this property that caused this Pokemon to be nearly hunted to extinction a long time ago, as greedy corporations captured this Pokemon in mass in order to create Tartort tarts, which used to be a popular snack, but have since been taken down. So now, thankfully, these Pokemon can roam free. When exposed to a Leaf Stone, it would evolve into Scalery. With their newfound draconic abilities, these Pokemon have now weaponized the sweet-tasting juice that they produce in their body, internally heating it up to high temperatures before launching it at opponents, leaving them covered in a deadly but nice-smelling liquid. And this is reflected in its signature move, Magmalade, which deals 85 Grass-type damage and lowers the foe's evasiveness. However, it also has a 30% chance to burn, which is super unique, especially for a grass-type move. In terms of stats, Scalery has notably good special attack and special defense, as well as HP, with the rest of its stats just being average. And for the shiny, I turned the red of its strawberries green to represent strawberries before they're ripe. I really like how this Pokemon turned out. I picture in the fan-made game, it'll be one of those grass types that's available super early, which is cool because as soon as you get your hands on a Leaf Stone, you'll be able to evolve it into a dragon type, so you have access to a dragon type super early in the game. And I think we ended up with a very unique design that sets itself apart from the other dragon types a lot. Like seriously, there's no other Pokemon that looks like this. But now let's get into the third Pokemon. And this one will be for Kerbo Samurai. Thanks for being a longtime viewer of the series. So alright Kerbo, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are going to be a legendary. That is absolutely awesome and super rare. This next wheel is actually a new one. It's called the Type of Legendary wheel. We're gonna start spinning it every time we get a legendary. And the options are Box Art Legendary, that's Pokemon like Palkia and Dialga. The next one is Side Legendary, and that's Pokemon like Heatran. We also have Villain Legendary, and that's Pokemon like Giratina, the legendaries that are like the antagonist of the game that they're in. And we also have part of a legendary trio, so that would be a Pokemon like Suicune or the Lake Guardians, legendaries that are part of 3 legendaries. Now, if we get this result, we're not gonna make 3 new legendary Pokemon, but we will make 1 legendary that connects either to a previous legendary that we've made as part of this series, or a legendary that Pokemon has made before but isn't already part of a trio, which I think is a pretty cool concept. So alright, for the first time ever, let's spin this wheel to see what type of legendary you are, and you got part of a legendary trio. I'm glad I explained that because this is probably the most interesting on the whole wheel. This is a great introduction. And now let's see what typing this new legendary trio member is going to be. Your first type is going to be the Rock type. That's good. I think we have some Rock type legendaries already, so that could work. And Rock Flying is very interesting type. And the last step before we see which Pokemon looks like, let's see what its X Factor is going to be, and it is a signature ability. Nice. Get ready for a throwback to episode 8 because we'll be expanding on the lore of the legendary Pandor. Your Pokemon is Condor, the jagged rock Pokemon. In ancient times, Condor and Pandor were brothers that lived on Mount Silver, where they would constantly train by battling each other and slowly improving their fighting abilities every time. And when great evils threatened the surrounding land, this pair would always be there fighting against it side by side. With Pandor's more defensive fighting style perfectly complementing Condor's long range and precise attack. Enemy moves would be battered away by Pandor's psychic orbs, while Condor threw a bevy of jagged rocks from its wings. And this duo's perfect synergy is reflected in their signature ability called Sup Orb, which is an ability that's given to both Pandor and Condor that states if the two are in battle together, they both receive a boost, with Pandor receiving a defense boost and Condor receiving an attack boost, making for the perfect double battle duo. In terms of stats, Condor is entirely focused on its physical attack and speed because Pandor is the one that worries about defense and this thing just focuses on offense. And for the shiny, I went with this very subtle change to a yellow color that I thought looked nice. I feel like my shinies are too complicated sometimes, so I thought this was a nice change of pace. I really like how this Pokemon turned out. I think the lore of having a connection to Pandor is super cool, and I hope we end up getting a trio legendary again, because I think a really cool theme would be to make a third member of this trio who's evil and is like from their past. They all used to be friends together, but like one of them became evil, a classic story trope. So hopefully that ends up working out. We won't know till we see the wheel spins, but I really hope that does. But that's gonna do it for today's episode, y'all. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe before you go. And if you want to watch more episodes just like this one, you can find a bunch in this playlist. I'm gonna get right back to making awesome custom Pokemon for you, so make sure you left a comment. I'll see you in the next episode, but until then, peace.